This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into today's episode of Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Monday, December 12th, 2022, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. And in today's episode, I will talk with Nadav Bocher. He is the CEO and co-founder of Greeneye Technology Smart Sprayers. And as always, we will also take a look at the ag weather outlook. But first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Tyler Schau of agmarket.net to wrap things up. Tyler, what did we see on the grain markets today? I know soybeans were down big.
Yeah, soybeans kind of took it on the chin, possibly a little bit of unwinding of some spreads. You know, last week, soybeans were the hero and kind of pushed up, wouldn't say definitely not contract highs, but recent highs over the last few months, basically across all contracts, old crop and new crop. A lot of that was some spreading action going on and the soybean complex between soybeans, soybean meal, and soybean oil. So 2 weeks ago, you might remember soybean oil kind of started tanking and falling off of its highs, and soybean meal started a pretty good rally. That probably likely kind of turned around finally here today, and we see beans down 20-some cents, while soybean meal is down about $20 a ton, and oil's up a couple dollars a hundredweight. So that spread was occurring. We also think there was probably considerable amount of last week buying soybeans and then selling corn or wheat against it to kind of spread that action out, mitigate a little bit of risk with those types of trades with the speculative traders, and probably some unwinding of those spreads or reversing of those positions, because corn had a very solid day, up 10 3/4 cents in the March contract. Wheat was up 20 cents in Chicago, nearly 30 cents in Kansas City. So kind of a reversal of what occurred last week today.
Tyler, I also have to ask, I know they finally did get some rainfall in Argentina, in South America. When we get those one-off reports like that of a weather event or something that happens to possibly change the situation in South America, is that enough to change the markets here in the United States?
You know, actually, they did get some rain in Argentina, but you have a lot of analysts that are calling for, 2 to 3 million metric ton less of corn being produced in Argentina as a result of the lingering dryness. So they've got crop in the ground. They'll start a second crop. They'll start planting in January. Maybe they'll increase corn plantings then. A lot of people are leaning towards those second crop acres going into beans now as well. So that's why you've got some analysts that are starting to lower that Argentina production, especially on corn. I think that's been baked into soybeans for a little bit here, but now we're starting to see some production fall on corn as well. They did get some rains in a lot of cases, too little. I won't say it's too late, but they're going to need, I think I saw over the next 10 days, they're going to need an inch or more in order to avoid the driest December on record in Buenos Aires. And then they're going to need 2 inches to avoid the driest May through December. So, we know far too well, where I'm at in Western North Dakota, been in a drought for a couple of years now. Rain, don't matter how much rain you get, any rain is welcome. But they're going to need a lot more to bust the drought system that they're in currently.
You're dead on there, Tyler. We were very used to hearing the stories about drought here in our part of the world, and now that's continuing in South America. Tyler, what's been the story on the livestock side of the market so far today?
Pretty quiet day on the livestock. Feeders and fats ended up positive for the day on the most part. You did have your January feeders down about 27.5 cents. There wasn't just a lot of news that came out of the livestock side. Did see some cash cattle trade in the south, and that 153 to 155 on live cattle, and a little bit better 156 to 57 on the north. The one thing I would, I did notice that kind of stuck out with me, weekly slaughter last week was about 16,000 head lighter than the same week a year ago. Now that could just, slaughter will ebb and flow a little bit. That could just be part of that ebb and flow. It also could start to be this position where the fat cattle just aren't there, and the packers are really going to have to start scrambling to find it. We've been calling for this to occur for about a year now, or a lot of people have been calling for this to occur. Maybe we're at that point. We pulled a lot of cattle forward that typically would have spent some time on grass, would have spent some time on wheat pastures in the last year. We pulled them forward. We pulled heifers into the slaughter market because we didn't want to hold them back into the breeding herd because we just didn't have the feed for them in a lot of places in the country. We might finally be reaching the point where those cattle aren't available, and we see this cattle available for slaughter start to dwindle. The feedlots become really current, and the packers really having to start chase cattle. If so, watch out on your April fats and into your back months, because that's where it might get wild if that's the case.
And Tyler, as far as holiday demand is concerned, is it pretty much thought that most of that inventory now is already at retailers for people to buy, with Christmas about 2 weeks away?
Yes, most of it's already on the shelf or on its way, or the animal has been processed and it's in transit or in freezer somewhere. So the holiday demand, that's going to take a chunk out of what's already been processed. But demand for beef has not waned. A lot of people have talked over the last several months to years, really starting with COVID, that we'd see some demand start to fall off from the households. But apparently COVID was really good. Households learned that they could prepare beef at home and not just go out to restaurants to eat. And so that's been a good situation for the cattle producer.
It was everyone staying home and finally learning how to properly cook a steak, I guess.
Yeah,
He is Tyler Schau of agmarket.net, our guest here today. Tyler, how can our viewers get in touch if they'd like more great market information?
Check out our website, agmarket.net. While you're there, sign up for our Ag Intel. We publish a lot of ag information daily. You can also check out our conference we're going to be holding in Nashville first Sunday and Monday of February. And if you want to call me direct, the number is 701-987-6009.
Tyler, thanks so much for the analysis here today. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk with you again soon.
You bet. Take care, guys.
That was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn up 10 even at 654 even. January soybeans down 23 1/4 at 1460 1/2. Soybean meal for January down 21.40 at 450.20. Soybean oil for January up $2.19 at 62.20. Chicago wheat up 20 1/2 at 754 3/4. Minneapolis wheat up 15 1/4 at 916 3/4. Kansas hard red wheat up 29 1/4 at 862 1/4, and March oats up 6 3/4 at 340 3/4. On the Merc, live cattle for December up 72 cents at 154.40. January feeder cattle down 27 cents at 183.65. Lean hogs for December up 37 cents at 81.95. Pork cutout for February down 35 cents at 92.05. And Class 3 milk unchanged at 20.50. And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. Now we're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, I will talk with Nadav Bocher. He is the CEO and co-founder of Greeneye Technology Smart Sprayers. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today, I speak with Nadav Bocher. He is the CEO and co-founder of Greeneye Technology, and we will talk about Greeneye's retrofit smart sprayer. Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm here with Nadav Bocher. And Nadav is I'll let you tell me your official title, but you're with Greeneye, and Greeneye Technologies has a sprayer on display here that we're going to talk about. But Nadav, what is your title with Greeneye?
Yes, so I'm the CEO and co-founder of Greeneye Technology.
And your Greeneye sprayer is unique because it's retrofit. So it can go on to an existing sprayer. Is there any other sprayer like that in the market right now?
No, not that we know of any other aftermarket solution in North America that is suitable for green on green as well. And this is one of the unique part of Greeneye, and I'm happy to kind of walk you through the system.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, like you said, Greeneye is a precision spraying system suitable especially for the aftermarket. So essentially retrofitting any existing machine with the Greeneye system, turning existing machine into smart ones. So let's walk through some key components. We have 24 cameras on the boom, on an 120-foot boom. Those cameras are looking slightly ahead, and as the machine drives in the field in commercial travel speed, they will trigger the relevant nozzle to spray precisely just the weed and not the entire field. So we have 24 cameras, we have 12 GPUs, so 12 computers, those black box below. And what the GPUs do, they help us to analyze everything on the fly in commercial travel speed without any dependency on connectivity. Then we have 72 pulsing lights, basically enabling us to work 24/7, whether it's pitch dark outside or early in the morning. Farmers can use and utilize this system all day long. The way the retrofit work is we actually put an entirely new aluminum boom pre-installed with a Greeneye system on the farmer existing machine. The other thing we do as part of the retrofit process is turning the machine from a single tank to a dual tank. So if you look right below, you'll see there's two lines, right? So there's the broadcast line where you can continue and broadcast the residual herbicides to make sure you have ultimate weed control. And the one in the back, that's the line we are adding. That's the Greeneye line where you precisely spray just the weeds. So we're talking about nozzle spacing of 10 inches. And just to think about it this way, today you spray the entire field, but with a Greeneye system, the spraying resolution is 10 by 10 inches. So this is the actual surface you're spraying. We just commercially launched our system. We did our first commercial season this 2022 year. Average reduction we offered in the burn down application was 94%, and average reduction in the post-emergence application for non-residual herbicides was 88%, just to give you some idea of the savings that we are offering farmers.
And you had mentioned you had a presentation earlier today that some competitors have a larger spray area, so that's just obviously going to use more product.
Correct. So one of the things that I think, in addition to the aftermarket approach that sets our solution apart, is the extreme eye spraying resolution. So we're talking about extremely small surface that is actually being treated compared to some other solution where it can be a section control or multiple nozzles that are being triggered at the same time, where in our case, we have 144 nozzles along 120-foot boom, and we control each nozzle individually. And we trigger a nozzle only if we see a weed.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're actually targeting a specific type of weed. It's not just weeds in general. You're actually trying to get the specific weed that you're looking for when it's passing by.
So the nice thing about this technology, and that's also with artificial intelligence, these are learning algorithms, right? So as the machine runs through the field, what it knows to do today is to detect the weed, to find it, whether it's a fallow ground application or in-crop application. But then we take it a step further. We classify the weeds as well. So the first classification is to tell you whether it's a broadleaf or a grass weed. And as we run more time in a given area, we can do a species level classification. So we see that the algorithms are able to pick whether it's a water amp or a palmer amaranth. So there's so much more value in addition to the actual precise application of it, the chemicals.
So really, Nadav, it all does come back to doing things efficiently and saving money, because you're retrofitting your sprayer. You don't have to go get a brand new sprayer, and then you're just using much less product and using it in a specific manner.
Correct. And we think of it, aftermarket is a huge differentiation where farmers don't have to go and buy a brand new expensive machine. But I think the dual line is also huge because it gives so much flexibility from a crop protection standpoint. So we think the ultimate value that farmers can get out of this technology is in the intersection between massive savings but at the same time put together the strongest herbicides program. So now you can, for example, spray dicamba at a much higher rate that you couldn't, it wasn't affordable before, and get much better control, manage resistance more effectively. So we see the efficacy to be as important as the savings.
And is that just perfect timing with how expensive inputs are right now to have that efficacy?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, farmers are running out of options to control weeds. The few options they have are becoming more and more expensive, and it's just simply not affordable when you broadcast regardless of what actually exists in the field. So it couldn't be a better time to introduce this technology to the market, and we see a tremendous amount of demand and excitement from farmers that recognize that this technology, aside from the fact the payback period is so quick, the multiple other values they're getting out of it.
So Nadav, my one question would be, though, this is obviously a very advanced piece of technology and machinery. What happens if something goes wrong? Is it difficult to fix? Is it something where you have to have someone come out and help you through a big process? What's that like?
Yeah, so first of all, we have a growing network of dealers that support our system. I'll say that the way the system is designed, it's really simple. If something breaks to change a component, and we have a network of dealers that actually do it for us. But based on our experience, we haven't seen any of those incidents so far. The other thing to think about is the way the system is designed, it always goes to default of spraying. So let's say you're in a really tough terrain and the boom movements are really, really extreme. So the system will support it to some extent, but once it goes out of range, it will just activate the nozzle. So as far as the user experience, you're not taking a risk on the system not working. It will never be the case. The system in some cases will just default to spraying.
Nadav, is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers know about when it comes to Greeneye Technology and what you're doing with this new, very exciting sprayer?
Yeah, so we are sold out for 2023, but we're taking orders for 2024 right now. We're going to announce soon some really exciting partnerships with FBN that will be out in the near future. So, we're going to be running out for the 2024 season fairly quick based on the demand we've seen in this event and in previous farm shows. So reach out to us to learn more about the system, to see the system live. We'll be happy to tell you more.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck with your wonderful creation here, and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you.
That was Nadav Bocher. He is the CEO and co-founder of Greeneye Technology. As for right now, let's take a look at the ag weather outlook. A little bit of a strange weather pattern around the state of Iowa over the past few days and into the next couple of days coming up as well. As today we had some light freezing rain, maybe some freezing wintry mix in northwest Iowa, in southwest Iowa, a little bit of precipitation as well. For the rest of the state of Iowa, generally just very foggy and overcast with temperatures fairly comfortable. And looking at tomorrow, we're going to continue to see some more of that strange weather with some wintry mix, some rain, and then tomorrow for most of the state of Iowa, just some flat out rain is in the forecast. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what it has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, very foggy around the state today. Areas of freezing drizzle in northwest Iowa, light rain chances as well in southwest Iowa, with highs today around 35 to 41. Tonight, cloudy and breezy. Rain and wintry mix chances for western and central Iowa, lows in the 31 to 35 range. Tomorrow, rain, freezing drizzle, and wintry mix early, changing over to rain for much of the state. High temperatures around 37 to 49. And turning our attention to our affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee, rain and freezing rain mixed with sleet early on tomorrow before changing to rain. High temperature expected around 37. Shenandoah on Tuesday, windy, rain, chance for drizzle, and 49 the high. Des Moines, rain and windy with a high around 45. Albia, rainy and windy, also tomorrow with a high around 47. Waterloo, windy, wintry mix likely, and then rain with a temperature around 40. And Clinton, breezy, cloudy, and then rain with a temperature around 39. For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AMPM, which can be found on our YouTube channel. And while you're there, please subscribe. Also, click on the notification bell. That will let you know whenever we have any new video content available. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast, which can be found wherever you find your favorite podcast: Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.